Okay, hello and welcome. It's John with Sacred Tree of Life, and we are up and running yet again. Today is Thankful Thursday, and what I wanted to do is what I thought about it last night after I finished the podcast, and I said I wasn't really going to consume myself with the energy of what the Lion's Gate should be. But the thing is, there is certain things that I have been noticing lately about the season that we're moving into, right? So with that said, I think there could be certain things that we need to look at and understand what's in this season, what we need to know about this season, so we can actually grow from certain aspects while this season's intact. Hold on, I just put out that lighter. I mean, not the lighter, the candle. So with that said, this is going to be more like a free-for-all for me because I thought about this last night, and I've just been pondering on the me doing the podcast for the podcast, and finally today I said, you know what, it keeps coming up, and I keep seeing things as like things are happening more. I can tell. When I went to the grocery store, I noticed more like spirit activity. When I ran through the grocery store today, you can just see things are a little different in the environment around you. If you notice it, you're probably on board too. So what I did, I went ahead and opened up earlier, and I was going to use this time as more or less like an ad lib for me to do the Akashics while asking certain aspects within the season. So what is it that we need to know about this Lion's Gate? So they're showing like a shift. So we're moving out of the summer season into the veil thinning. And the Lion's Gate is like the first edge within this new fall season where the veil starts thinning. But with certain energies that's around, there's going to be more of capabilities for people to be able to see, communicate, and actually relate information to and from the spirit world. If you see them, if something pops out to you, maybe you should recognize it. Now the thing is, what is people doing? What is it that people are over here that is not understanding the full concept within this season? And so they're missing. It's like they're seeing pieces of what's going down. So everybody is listening to somebody else and not actually getting the information directly to them. So it's like they might get a piece of it, and then what they're doing is they're understanding other aspects from other people that they would consider enlightened, and then they take that and run. And the thing is what we have to understand is the information that you get has truth behind it. But unless you're actually getting the detailed information yourself, always think with discernment, because whatever, if this stuff doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you, right? So it is what it is. But what I'm seeing is as we start shifting into it, as this Leo season starts, there's going to be a new thing within the political arena. And within this political arena, they're going to start doing a lot of fear. So there's going to be a lot of fear-based trauma that's going to be like being thrown in our face, and there's going to be a lot of different scenarios. So I'm seeing like, I'm thinking it's going to be something big that it's like a big thing that's going to go down, and then other small things that's going to be happening. And the small things I'm thinking is something like more affiliated with people being sick and coming up with a new a new thing for the population to have fear, and then they're going to build upon the fear. And so, but what they're trying to do is it's like they're trying to multiply certain things. So they're going to start taking these like the viruses and stuff, and then with this with a new altered identity, almost, to where they start changing the scenario to where even the people that wasn't wasn't afraid at one time will start to see it a little bit differently, because it's going to be more of a and so now they show me like spots. So it'd be almost like people are gonna start having different issues around them. So these things are gonna be coming more around your immediate area. With that said, nanosoma, what I take, is an antiviral. It's an antifungal. I spray it 3 to 5 times under my tongue every day. It's not cheap. I buy 3 to 6 months at a time when I buy. And it is in clinical trials in the hospital, and it is proven to work. And so what it does is it goes into your body and it removes anything that's not naturally supposed to be there. So if anything is occurring in your body that's not supposed to be there naturally, it will remove it. And then it will seal your body on a cellular level. So what it does is it seals your body, and then it keeps your body in homeostasis to where it lives in harmony with the place and the things around you. So you might want to look into something like that, because I have a feeling like there's going to be, it's like a multiple things, but then it's going to be mostly triggered. Most of what's about to go down within this season will be mainly pinpointed to the American society for some reason. So it's like I got an arrow, and then I saw the North America, just like the continent of North America. So it's like they're going to start really dialing in on certain things within our society. Now the thing is, what would be the so what do we need to do to keep our space and our minds in a state? And so they're showing that there's going to be a lot of platforms right now that is here for, like, we assume that, okay, so we assume that they are awakened, or that they're like teaching you something, or they're out of the box thinkers like myself. Well, these people are, you might not catch it right away, but they're going to start becoming more of the fear. So they're going to start forcing more of their stuff as a fear tactic, if that makes sense. I got burnt by candle wax earlier on my cheek. And so what's funny is certain times I will get, it really depends on what happens sometimes. But one time I had someone that is close to us in the family, and they had a child, and then what's funny is the soul came to me probably a week after the birth, and the soul was explaining all these things, and how her soul come here to be like a karmic debt breaker for her father. And so with that said, she told me, well, I'm going to have these disabilities moving forward. It's going to take them years and years to be able to understand these disabilities. And what's funny is I did speak to a couple people within my surrounding people, telling them about the situation. And one thing I did not know, and I'll let you know this. Now, what I have found out through different readings, and then people come to me, sometimes their soul would just pop in and just want to start chatting. I don't know them from Adam. So when she first arrived, it was weird, because she was explaining how she was not completely connected. So when her soul came into her body, it was only like half here, because she was in her body. Her body was not able to be manipulated and used at the beginning. So she was like half in, half out. So her soul was like half in the ethers and half in body. And I've always assumed from the very beginning that when we are here, we're here and we're stuck here. And that's not the case. And I found that out. She was explaining how it worked. But she said as time went farther, she started to learn her body and certain traits that are wrong in her body. And after these traits started, after she understood these traits within the body, she would start inserting her soul on a more regular basis. So 6 months went by, and then she popped back in the house, and then what she was doing was she was explaining that she is now full-time inside the body, that she is no longer like in and out. She's now full force in the body. But part of the disabilities is like the father lived in a certain state of mind, and he was homophobic. He had all these like sociopathic tendencies, if you want to put it that way, right? So it was like there was certain things he wanted to make people assume that he was okay with, but deep down he wasn't. So this is a soul level karmic debt recycle. So she come in to help him clear his karmic debt that he has occurred since being here, and it is going to be able to be used through her. So she came here with some disabilities, and what she will do is he will start to understand the disabilities and accept disabilities and start seeing people for what they are rather than what he wants to believe they are, if that makes sense. So it's and she's saying that, okay, so she just popped in again. So it's funny because she's saying that there's still things within her life that she's here for. And it's like there's things that are placed, and then sometimes we don't quite understand certain aspects within our surroundings, and we allow too many things to change our perspective. So when these people are over here around specific someones or certain groups of people, they make assumptions that something is not quite right. Okay, and when that happens, it starts making you believe that this is the only way to be, and that's not the case. So that is her main goal, and it's funny because I've never known, like, I know we chose our parents. I know we chose our siblings, which we got a train wreck up in our house, off and on. I tell you, we got some train wrecks, but there ain't much I can do about it. Train's off the track and she's ready to roll. So, as everybody gets here, what we have to understand, if you are part of the divine mind, right? That candle wax still burns. And when we come here as the divine part of God and we corrupt our body for so long, our chakras start to darken. And that's where some of these people that I'm talking about, this is what's happened. And there's no elevating the chakras. It just is what it is. So when we come here, okay, so like if they're drug addicts or drunks or what have you, it don't matter what you are. But I don't care. Normally after I finish a reading, I'll have a drink to help ground myself. What I do is I'll walk the dogs around my pond. I'll have a cocktail, and I'm walking barefoot around the pond. I'm trying to ground myself after I do the channelings, because you have to ground yourself and get your mind out of the ethers. You can't live in the ethers all the time, which is nice to be like elevated, but we chose to be here, so we have to keep our mind right. And so what's funny is they just said this is the season that we're in. So people are it's almost like the awakened people are now to the point to where they don't understand everything completely, but they're starting to see a bigger picture of what's really going on. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to like be awakened and stay in the ethers for too long, and we're not grounding ourselves. So when you do that, you're actually going to cause blockages. You can cause, if you don't ground yourself enough and you're trying to get to the ethers all the time, you're going to start having different problems within your body, because we have to stay grounded, because the magnetism within the earth is what keeps us going here. And you have to make sure, even while channeling, I always have my feet are barefoot, even though I'm inside, but it's still barefoot. When I walk outside a lot, I stay barefoot to ground myself as much as I can when I'm outside. So now, is there anything major that we need to know about during this Leo season that's going to be moving in? So as we move into these seasons, there's going to be a shift, and there's going to be more, it's like they're going to start throwing people, so people are going to be thrown under the bus. And that whoever is in the camera, so whoever is like the celebrities, political leaders, we're going to have a lot of people that's just going to be thrown under the bus, and they're going to start being exposed. So this season, I'm thinking from now up until like the real veil clearance, so like end October. And we're going to be going through a season to where, because with natural law, starting to burp, and with natural law, they have to allow us to see these things. You don't have to believe it. But the thing is, they do allow us enough to where they don't have debt. And that's where we go wrong, because we sit here and we think, oh, well, they're lying to us. Well, within natural law, they aren't lying, because they do show aspects of what they are, how they live, what they do, and we're just too naive to understand it. Now, what is it about, so is there certain times during this season that if somebody would like to do like a channeling or try to release things? So, October 13th. Okay, so what I just got, October 13th is going to be one of the days during this season that I'm speaking about moving forward. It's going to be one of those really strong, but it's going to be for the benefit of us. So if there would be any time that you really want to do like a mass meditation and put out information, maybe what I'll do within the next few weeks is put out a date as like and a time, and what we'll do is see if we all can't do a meditation at the same time to hold the space on October. So maybe October 13th, and that could be even at 1300, which would be 1 o'clock at 1300, and then that would be October 13th at 1300. You get what I mean? So it'd be 1313. Because I'm thinking if they're saying that it needs to be more in, because as we're moving out of so we're moving into more of like the fall season. So the sun is starting to retract. So they're saying when we're doing it, that you need to do it a little bit later in the afternoon rather than in the morning, because we're going to have less time. So it's like the darker part, if that makes sense. So they're showing like later in the afternoon. So I'm probably going to put out at 1300 on October 13th. And then what I'll do is I might even, I don't know if I'll probably do this on here as a meditation, but I could do, I'll probably do a meditation at that time, and I'll set up a post to be able to do it. Now, the thing is, what are things that we could do to help ourselves currently as a group? So they're saying there's placing yourself in the right environment, because from what I'm seeing, like people are being it's not that they're trapped, but it seems like they are being coerced in a way to be in a presence of something that is okay, but maybe isn't the best for you. And right now, whoever this is, I just asked for like the group, the people who watch this. There's a group, and so I'm doing that as like a group understanding, and try to take a few steps back and understand that even these people might be okay, they might not be for the best, if that makes sense. And they're saying not fully detach yourself from them, but make sure and associate that and take the time to get away from that enough to where you can really communicate yourself to really understand the true force from within, if that makes sense. And now, so they're showing like, okay, so there's going to be like, and they're showing like, okay, so multiple, these new things that they have now are talking about, these portals and stuff like that. And they're showing like the groups doing it. And these groups are actually like attracting these portals to be able to reassume their energy. So is that on the days or if people are doing in groups? Okay, so what the thing is a lot of people in like in group settings are now, they're showing like for some reason like group settings. So if you are part of a group setting during these portal periods, this is pertaining to you, because what this is doing is reassuming your energy. And it would be different if you would be doing it by yourself, because you can detach these energies from you rather than being in a group. Because when you're in a group, think, we are like a moth to a flame. And when you're in a moth to a flame and you get a group of people and together doing these things, it's even more light. So more of a flame, right? So that would give them even more energy to be able to connect even easier to really keep the astral threads, because they're showing like attachments. So then they send attachments in, and then they're still able to, but it's not like they stay with you. So it's not like an entity that stays, but what they do is they reassume your energy while you're doing it. So during those times, there's like a certain portal shifts to where the energy is able to be manipulated, and then they can actually take your energy while you don't even understand. So it's actually removing part of your soul essence while you are connected in this state, in this subconscious state of mind, if that makes sense. So what are the names of these beings that are over here? And they're saying that it really depends. Some don't even have names. Some were never even in a body form to begin with. So so the ones that they would like to make evident, the powerful ones that is able over to create whatever's going on, and then people are now assuming certain things of these gate times. And now with all these new things that are going down, they're doing the portals and they're doing the different dates and stuff like that. Are these all with the same type of agendas? And they said not all, but that the thing is there are certain ones where what they're doing is they're mass promoting specific dates and making it assume like it is one of the, like they are the dates to be able to really manifest and to bring in the best, but they're actually doing the reverse. So they're actually taking from you rather than you getting elevated and in an enlightened state. Now, when people start communicating, like during this time of this season, what should they start looking for? So they're saying that right now, a lot of people's going to start noticing like spirit animals outside. So while you're outside, or if you look out the window, what you might start noticing is like spirit animals in the trees or just about the yard. And this is part of this season that we're moving into, because with it starting to like allow that flow of the spirit world to be seen, those are some of the easiest to be able to like manipulate your eyes to where we can see it, realize it, and understand it. You get what I mean? And I just, as soon as I said that, I saw one run. So I've been catching my little dog that passed. He's everywhere lately. He's like every day I've been catching him multiple times through the house, outside. So I just keep talking to him. I made his little bed at the foot of our bed in there. I made the little bed that he used to sleep on at night. And one of my friends was telling me, why don't you put a dog treat? If you've been seeing him in the house, put a dog treat in his bed. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't think about that. So what I did, I made his little bed, and his little bed at the foot of the bed, and I put him like a little dog treat. The next morning, there wasn't a fucking dog treat. And now my partner believes that that one of the dogs got out of the bed and ate the shit. But normally they don't get out of the bed. So I don't know. It could have been, it could not have been. I don't know. So what I want to start doing is I'm just going to put a treat in his little bed every night. And if he wants to sleep in his little bed, because if he's already here, it's not like he can't sleep in there. I mean, we left it in there for a reason. Because we fucking nuts. We fucking nuts. That's probably why. Nuts. Oh my God. Okay, so as one other thing, I did a reading a while back, as a group reading a while back, of this anti-messianic age, and they were showing like almost like he'll claim to be Jew but isn't, and so is what's going on with this? So they're saying right now it's like there's been a bit of a shift in the timelines. So they're reevaluating the movement moving forward, because it's probably been about almost a year that I saw this messianic age and this like anti-Messiah moving into the United States as a politician, and he will be like the powerhouse that people will claim as the new Messiah. And so does that mean that it's on hold? You didn't answer the question. So they're saying that right now they're shifting the tables because there's a lot on their plate. The best way I can say it. So it was almost like right now they have so many things happening at once. And right when I said that, I saw China, and then I saw Russia, and then I saw like other countries in that region. And it's like, so what does that mean? So they have multiple ways to move right now. And they don't know which will be the easiest way to be able to force the agenda forward. So they're just almost like they have the cards on the table, but they aren't willing to play them right now, if that makes sense. Is that right? So they're showing many avenues, and they're showing, because also I seen like an oil line pipeline burst in Ukraine, and then they was going to claim it to be the United States was the leaked calls, and then start on us. And so there's multiple timelines. So I think that's why I'm seeing. And so what they're doing is they're trying to line all these things up to see which one will play out the best. And I think that they know at this point that they have forced too many people for too long. And people are starting to say, okay, fuck this shit. And they're starting to really take heed and understand what we need to start doing as a population rather than what we should listen to. And that's where we're at today, because they're showing like the groups of what they see. They understand that people are starting to change, because what you have to understand, these things, these energetic forces, they are all around, and they can see us. They know where we're at. It's like we are like a little lantern. So if I travel across the state, they can see us from the ethers. That's about how I feel at this point. Like they can see us as like a little dot. You know, on your telephone, when you put the dot, like when you get out of your car and you want to track your car when you're like going a long ways away in the city or something, and you look down at the Apple thing and then the dot's there where the car was and you get there. That's about how I see we are to them. They know who needs to be stopped. They know who is the strong ones. And that's why there are so many obstacles. And a lot of the people that are awakened, or the ones that are real powerful, that has not really understood their limit. The problem is all people understand today is limitations, right? So they assume something, but they were just taught it. It wasn't that they have fought to understand those limitations, if you get what I mean. So a lot of people aren't allowing themselves to really become the best that they can be. And that's where we're at. And a lot of people are willing to fight. But the thing is what you're fighting for, I'm not sure exactly what we're fighting for, because how I see our government was made, it has been made by the rulers from the very beginning, and that was from George Washington. And what's funny is if you look up George Washington and the god Zeus and all of the dictations of George Washington, look at George Washington's monument in Washington, D.C., and look at Zeus's monument, and I think it's in Rome. They look identical. So was Washington, D.C. a reincarnated Zeus? So the thing is these gods can come back in human form. And that was what it is. Because as soon as I was asking, I saw Barack Obama, and Barack Obama was another reincarnation of one of the ancient pharaohs. So it was showing like a reincarnated pharaoh, but in modern day, and that's why he is president, because he's a fucking king from another life. So it's like a god from then just reincarnated and came back, and they know who these gods are. I wonder, so was Trump a god? So anybody today, as soon as I said that, so they showed like the whole system that we watch on television, that we assume to be famous elites, politically, whatever, anything and everything. They had something to do with lineages of gods, deities, things of that sort, and they said they don't come back like we think they do, but they are re-injected into the system. And so, explain. So when they see certain aspects aren't quite as much as what they see, they're able to reinsert themselves. Because if you look at the Book of the Dead and a few of the others, it talks about how and what prayers they do right before they die. So they get killed off, or they knew exactly when to die, so somebody kills them or something like that. I'm not sure. But what happens is, at the time of their death, they are doing a specific thing for themselves to pull their soul out of their body and so they can remember everything that they had here, take it to the ethers, and then when they come back, they'll still remember, if that makes sense. Because there's a lot of hidden details within the books of the dead. What are the other ones that I read? Who was that one that came and then he died and then he came back, and the Mayans, down there at the Mayans, it was another like Pharaoh man, Hermes. So he died. One of the pharaohs died in Egypt. He was reincarnated and he came back as Hermes in the Aztecs, I believe it was. But look it up if you don't believe me. But the thing is so they know these powers, and they know, okay, well, if that was them, if they know how to keep the soul cycle going, you do a spell, they manipulate their soul consciousness, and then they just hold it until they want to be reinserted. Now, I don't really know how it works all the time. I just see certain aspects with friends that pass, or clients that have family members that pass, and I'll see like the purgatory area, and then I have to explain it. But like, I haven't seen the entire cycle, if that makes sense. I've only seen the cycle of them getting to purgatory and then recommunicating with them after they get out of purgatory in the heavenly realms, if that makes sense. Or if they're the spirits that just want to roam the land, they want to stay here until they reincarnate because they have missed the mark. So they come back whenever it's time for them to come back. And so, okay, for last statement, what is it that the Leo season, this Lionsgate, do the people that's watching need to know? Always have discernment. Discernment is key, because too many people are listening to too many things, and there's too many things out there that is not being accounted for. So a lot of people claim that they had a download, right? I had a download. Another motherfucking download, right? I had a download last night. This was my download last night. I had a dream last night. You want to know my dream? I have dreams every motherfucking night, but I don't tell you guys. I mean, damn. I have downloads every motherfucking day, but it ain't none of your fucking business. You get what I mean? Some people have nothing else to talk about because they have not learned. They don't know their shit. They just want to talk about motherfucking downloads. There's other things out there for us to talk about than a motherfucking download. I mean, be serious now. Oh, goodness. So, with discernment, they need to understand what? They need to know that so while moving into this process, there's going to start being, like, we're just now getting to the point to where we start seeing, like, deterioration in certain aspects of things. And we need to keep an open mind, because if our minds are not open, and if we're over here taking sides, we're going to get sucked right into the hive mind. And the hive mind is going to take you down the rabbit hole. But the thing is, most of these rabbit holes are either the libs or the repubs. They're never in the middle. They never look at both sides, because it's like nobody. It's like for some reason we just fucked up. I don't know if some people have more of a reptilian brain than the Homo sapien brain, or what, but it has to be something. Or maybe they were just, I don't know. I just don't know. I do know that the older like lineages, Jews, they were the reptilian brains, and we are the hybrids. So with that said, and just like they was talking about the ley lines yesterday, if the ley lines were, if they were explaining to us where to place the pyramids and where to put these cities and where to place these cities, it was that race. It was that race that helped us to understand certain aspects. And it was our race that fucked everything up. So you got to sit with discernment, because some people are sitting over here and we're not taking everything into an account. And yeah, maybe some planets might come in and move, and it might shift, and it might change some certain things in you. I'm not saying it can't, but the thing is, within this season, they're going to have multiple different avenues to really draw you in for fear. And then what they do is they draw you in, and then they suck you in, and then you get tied up in that whole synopsis of yet another line of bullshit. And I think I'm going to leave it there, guys, because we're at 40 minutes, and I got to walk my dogs, and I'm going to go walk down at the pond barefoot, ground myself for a few minutes, and clean before the in-laws get back. Okay, have a great afternoon. Have a wonderful Thursday.